Now that we have the blue tunic that we got in the color dungeon, this will reduce the amount of damage that Link takes by 1/2. It's almost as if he is always holding a guardian acorn, and in my opinion this significantly reduces the difficulty level of the game, since up until now, and especially in the future, if you do not get the blue tunic upgrade, some of the enemies and some of the bosses, they take a lot of damage, and especially for younger, newer gamers, the game can be incredibly hard later on. But now that we got the blue tunic, and plus once we get the level 2 sword soon after the next dungeon, it decreases the overall difficulty level. If you're looking for a big challenge, don't get the level 2 sword, don't get the tunic upgrades, and that's quite a challenge in my opinion. Anyway, head to the north area of Koholint Island and head up the stairs here. Hoot! The windfish sleeps long and dreamily in the egg above. When you play the 8 siren instruments in front of the egg, he will awaken. This, my friend, is the only way for you to leave the island. Whoo! So this is actually known as Mount Tamaranch, and it holds the egg that holds the windfish. Well, we don't have all the instruments of the sirens yet, so we will be returning much later in the quest once we have all 8 of them. For now, we want to just head to the east. If you would have headed north, you could have scaled more portions of the mountain, which is known as, well, the mountain is Mount Tamaranch, but the area is Tall Heights. Nevertheless, head to the east here, and you'll run into a new enemy known as a Tektite, classic Zelda enemies that have appeared in every single Zelda game up until this point, up until Link's Awakening. There's a keyhole here, and since we have the Angler's Key, we can place it in, and this will reveal Angler's Tunnel, which is the next dungeon. We can't actually enter it from here yet because we have to scale the mountain and jump down, just as the owl stated. There's a warp portal just one screen to the right here, and you have to walk into the warp portal to activate it, and it now creates basically a triangle where that Angler's Tunnel warp tunnel will take you to Animal Village to the warp tunnel just outside Maid Village, and then this back to the waterway near Angler's Tunnel. So this makes navigation through the overworld a bit easier. Unfortunately, this one is not, in my opinion, it's not overly useful, I suppose. We're soon going to be learning a new method of transportation in a way, in the form of a new ocarina song, which will allow us to warp, and that will make travel even more easier. Nevertheless, it does reduce the amount of mindless walking. In this cave here, there's a hard hat beetle, and there's also several keys. Defeat all the enemies, and I'm trying to get every single last rupee because I'm still saving up for that really expensive bow. I'm up to 627 rupees right now, so if you're saving up just like I am, it's a good idea to be around this amount. There's other alternative ways to sort of cheat in a way, not really cheat, but to get more rupees quicker, but I'll show you those a little bit later. I'm trying to do it the more realistic way first. Battle through these cave sequences, defeating any Keese and Zol. You'll notice there's a piece of heart on the left. We won't be able to get that until much later in the quest, so don't worry about it like thinking, how do I get it? There's a treasure chest right here containing 50 rupees, so pick it up. And we're now closing in on 700 rupees, which is nice. Use your Pegasus boots to dash through the rocks. There's also a treasure chest on that previous screen. We also cannot get that one until much later in the quest, so don't worry about that one either. Exit the cave here, and we're at a new area of Tall Heights. You'll notice there's a man up there, and this is the same man we saw much earlier in the quest in Maid Village, and he announced to you that he is going to get lost. So just battle through this cave sequence, defeating any of the loose Zol or Keese that you see, and then head up the steps. There's a fake treasure chest here on the left. You can open it and defeat the green Zol if you'd like, and then head down, and there's 4 more Keese floating around. Defeat them and pick up any loose rupees, and then exit to get to a higher portion of Tall Heights. And here is Papal, the lost father. Yes, Papal got lost, just like he said. Now I am so famished I can't move. Can you give me some victuals? This pineapple is so delicious. I'm going to eat the pineapple right now. Ah, this isn't meant to be a reward. Here, take this hibiscus. It's a hibiscus. Alright, so we traded the pineapple for the hibiscus. It's just another step in the trading sequence, which ultimately will give us, a very nice extra item, which makes the game incredibly easier, which I will reveal later when we get it. Yay! I'll give you a clue, we're not that far off from getting it though. I mean, it's a full trading sequence, but we get it much earlier than you might think. It doesn't take the whole game to get to the trading sequence, get through the trading sequence. Backtrack through the cave, and then head to the east. Don't mind these extra caves here. Just jump off this ledge, and we will be at the entrance of Angler's Tunnel, so head inside. Angler's Tunnel. I personally don't think it's much more difficult than any of the first 3 dungeons. It's got a lot of puzzles, and it's sort of like a maze in a way, sort of like Key Cavern was, but it's not too difficult. The mini boss and the dungeon boss are extremely easy in my opinion. Right away we can get the dungeon map, unlike the color dungeon which took us till the very end to get it. We can get this one right away. Head down the screen and we can use the Pegasus boots and the Rock's Feather to do a dash jump attack to get across the gap. On this screen, place a bomb on the cracked block and it will explode, and then you can push the other block to the right and open the treasure chest to get a small key. You'll also notice there's a new enemy known as a P-Hat floating around. These P-Hats are classic Zelda enemies that were in the original Legend of Zelda, and you can only hurt them when they settle on the ground, and at that point you can just slash at them with your sword and you can defeat them. Bomb the cracked block here and open the treasure chest to get a second small key. So right off the bat we got the dungeon map and 2 small keys. There's also these anti-fairies, or whatever you like to call them. You can sprinkle some magic powder on them to defeat them and they'll turn into a fairy. There's also these other enemies known as water tektites, and they're rather simple to defeat. As you saw, 1 sword slash will do them in. Use the jump dash attack once again, and then head left the screen. From this screen, head down 2 screens, and then to the right a screen where you'll find a treasure chest containing the stone beak. And I'm not going to be able to finish this dungeon in one video, so join me for the next video and we will complete Angler's Tunnel.